What knives are you carrying right now? Let me show you what I have. The M. Custa Tacticali. I love this knife, by the way. Victorinox Cadet. This is the silver Alox version. I like these because they're a lot thinner, and the silver Alox wears very nicely. It holds up. The Victorinox Classic SD, silver Alox again. The Leatherman Squirt PS4, that has a blade on it. This is a very useful multi-tool. You'll see they all have the same little lanyard. I make those. I call them a corgi. They're available on the website. They're a sheepdog thing. What knife I haven't shown you yet, and the basis of this review, look at this. Whoa. SlySteel FOB NK final option blade neck knife. Look at that thing. Let's get these out of the way so we can review this knife. I'm going to leave the classic SD here for size reference so you can see it. Now we're going to break this review into 5 different sections. The first section is the overview. My first question I have for you is, why did you choose this knife? Or why did I choose this knife? Well, Chris Kyle said 95% of being cool is looking cool. How cool is that? Seriously, how cool is that knife? With the clip point blade and the finger choil, the jimping, this thing rocks. It is just cool looking. One of the cooler looking neck knives I've ever seen. So I saw this knife at the SlySteel booth. I had to have it. I ended up leaving with one, and I have been using this neck knife for about a month and a half now, and I've really enjoyed it. I've been actually carrying neck knives for quite a while. They are an extra blade that you can carry, very useful. It's also another option to have when you're limited with what you can carry depending on your dress. You know, not all pockets carry everyday carry items equally. Some fall out. Let me show you what you get with this. You get the certificate of authenticity. This is your warranty. You get a spring-loaded clip that goes on the back of the Kydex sheath. This can attach to your belt. You can put it different directions, attach it pretty much. You can find a lot of uses for that. And a sticker. Stickers are fun. The designer of this knife is Oliver Hannon. He is from Idaho Falls, Idaho. That's where he lives now. He and his partner and friend, business partner, Keith Newberry, they served in the Navy together, and they created the SlySteel company. You'll see this knife is serialized SSN 156. Keith was telling me that the SSN, that is how they identify naval nuclear submarines. So it's a personal touch that they've added to that. Where is this made? USA. This knife is 100% USA made. It's manufactured by Tops out of Idaho, and they manufacture them for SlySteel. SlySteel retails them. They hold the patents and own the knives and the designs. The dimensions of this knife, the weight, 2.8 ounces for the knife itself. The sheath, 1.4 ounces. Together that's 4 ounces. It's a little bit heavy for a knife to carry every day, but it's in a different location. You're carrying it around your neck. You don't really notice it as much. And your other options are skeletonized knives, neck knives that weigh so little, but they don't have any capabilities. They are backup, not heavy use. The trade-off with a 4-ounce neck knife is it is a heavy-duty quality knife that you can use every day. The length of this thing, we're 4 inches total length. The blade length is 1 7/8 inch. It's 47 millimeters. The cutting edge is 1 3/4 inches, 44 millimeters. The thickness is 1/8 of an inch, or 3 millimeters. The handle is 2¼ inches, or 55 millimeters. It's 9/16 thick at the handle, 14 millimeters. So for a neck knife, that's pretty thick. But once again, you can't have everything, and it's a trade-off. Do you want to carry a neck knife that you can use heavy use every day, or do you want to carry a neck knife that is so feather light you never notice it, but it's not very capable? So that's what you've got to decide with this. Now, it's G10 scales. The texture of this G10 is just right. I prefer G10 to not be sandpaper, and no one wants a super slick G10, hopefully. This G10 is just right. If your hand's wet, you're going to be able to keep a grip on it and have a very positive grip with the ergonomics of this thing. Your index finger locks into the choil, your middle finger on the end of that handle, your thumb locks into that jimping just right. You have a lot of control. So the ergonomics is wonderful. Plus, I can flip this upside down in reverse, and I can palm it. It disappears in my hand. So if you ever have a need to conceal a small knife like this in your hand, hopefully you're never in that scenario, but this is a final option for you to choose. The steel 1095 high carbon alloy. 1095 high carbon alloy is a very good steel. It has its major pros. The wear resistance is wonderful. The steel holds an edge great, stays sharp, it's easy to sharpen. It is very good. It's comparable to, if it's heat treated right, it's comparable to high quality exotic stainless steel. Now the downfall, or the con, because everything has pros and cons, the con of the 1095 high carbon steel is right in the name, high carbon. What does high carbon content steel do? It's more likely to rust. So this will rust if you're not careful. But they've put the epoxy powder coating on the blade like they should have to keep it protected. The sheath helps keep it dry because it's got air gaps so it can drain. As long as you keep this blade dry and oiled, it will outlast you. You'll be able to hand this down to your grandchildren, your children, whoever you feel like handing it down to. It will last. The sheath, it's a Kydex sheath. It is molded very well. I love how you can see the clip point blade in the sheath molding. You can see the flat saber grind lines. It just shows very well. They do have a flat side which accommodates that clip I just showed you. So very positive retention. It's not going to drop out or fall out. It stays there. Like I said, I've been wearing this thing for about a month and a half now, and I've never once even had a single issue. But then you very easily put your thumb on the back here, your index finger, and it pops right out. So it's a very quality made Kydex sheath. The Rockwell hardness of this steel is 57 to 59. So it's pretty hard. I just love that logo. That is so cool. Shows very well. That pretty much covers the overview. Now the next section we talk about defend your purchase. When you defend your purchase, you have to know your purpose. What is the purpose of this knife? Well, when I purchased this knife, I purchased it for an everyday carry neck knife. I like having the option of a neck knife that can fulfill the need to, when I need it to replace or take over the main blade duties, it can. If I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts, cargo shorts pockets have a tendency to not retain things very well. Your main knife can fall out, stuff falls out of your pockets. This neck knife you can keep with you and it will stay there. It's going to be there when you need it. I don't think that it should replace a 3-inch folder, but If it has to, it can, and you can depend on it. It will be there. How do you incorporate this into your system? Well, if you're not already using a neck knife, I highly recommend you do. And all you do is add it. You don't have to change your system. You can wear this in your best dress, suit and tie. You put this under your shirt. You won't even notice it. T-shirt, shorts. Under any clothes, you won't even notice it. It is a little thicker, and it does create a small little bump. But most people walk around day to day. They don't even pay attention. They'll never even notice. Someone like me or you that know what to look for, yeah, you're going to see it. You're going to notice. But odds are it's going to stay concealed. Fun factor. Fun factor is one of my favorite parts of knife collecting, knife using. I sit and grab a different one almost every night when I'm watching TV, sit and play with, drives my wife crazy. This is fun just to pop in and out of the sheath. I love that sound. It's such a positive locking click that it's just it's very satisfying. It's like those old phones with the dials. It was very satisfying. Rotary dial phones. Satisfying. What is possible with this? The next section. What you can do, all sorts of companies make scales. I'm sure you could find scales for this if you wanted. I don't know why you would want to, because then you have to worry about this sheath and replace the sheath. I know that SlySteel, right now, they're offering stingray skin covered neck knife sheaths on their Facebook page. You can order. They're pretty cool. One thing I did is this comes with a chain, a little ball chain, like this. You listen to the sound it makes. I don't like that. I replaced it with 275 paracord. It's quiet, it's more comfortable. I like that a lot better. But SlySteel says you can do that on their website, so I don't really think that that's something they overlooked. So I don't think I would have done anything different with this. Another option you can do on their website, they offer double-edged blades. That's pretty neat to get a double-edged blade. You'll have your belly forward curve and then your recurve to do other things. Maybe I'll have to look into getting one of those. Try that. So that's about the only thing that I would do differently, I guess, is change the cord. Testing this out of the box, I've had sharper knives. This was not the sharpest knife on the planet out of the box, out of the packaging. It wasn't super dull, but it was not slicing paper. I've used this a lot over the past month and a half, opening packages. I have cut strings. I have opened food packaging. All sorts of things I've done with this, and it seems to work very well. I did touch it up on the Edge Apex Pro, and it's slicing pretty good. So it will take an edge very well, and the edge has stayed there. I haven't messed with it. I sharpened it when I first got it, and I haven't messed with it. It stayed sharp. The best use for this knife, everyday carry. Like I said, I can't emphasize enough how when your attire requires you to think creatively about your everyday carry because your pockets aren't very deep and they don't hold things in very well, or it's just hot, or you want something that's right there by your neck, this is something that I would completely recommend you incorporate into your everyday carry. It will, in a pinch, it will replace your regular folding knife or your regular knife, and it will do that quite well. The belly of this knife cuts very well. That's what I recommend. The other thing you need to think about with this is if you are in a situation, heaven forbid, where you need a knife to defend yourself and your pocket knife is gone, something's happened, This has been under your shirt. You can reach under your shirt, pop it out. You can conceal it until the time is right. When you need it, it's there. You can grip it. You have a final option. The final option, neck knife. FOB NK. Tactical neck knife. I highly recommend you go to SlySteel, get 1, 2. They're great gifts. They're great things to pass down. In the comments, just make a note to help us out. So tell them that the Prepared Sheepdog sent you, and we can get love from SlySteel. So now, do you want to see what Scarlett's doing? Scarlett, hey. Hey, come here. What are you doing? Oh, you slept too long. Come here. Come here. High five. High five. Oh, you're missing high five. Oh, good girl. She's too tired to do tricks. Maybe another time. Okay, keep watching. There are lots of knife reviews coming.